The Rise of Skywalker is a movie that exists that I wish did not. Yeah, it's so bad. So for this video, the first part will be no spoilers, and then I'll give you guys a warning, and I'll get into spoilers. So this movie is really, really bad. It's just, well, let me preface it this way. I feel like if you like The Force Awakens, you'll like this movie because it is more just J.J. Abrams garbage. But if you like The Last Jedi, you won't like this movie. If you didn't like any of them, you won't like this movie. But if you like The Force Awakens, you like this movie. It panders to Force Awakens fans, is how I feel. I feel like it really targets those fans a lot. There's a lot of fan service, but not just Star Wars fans, to The Force Awakens fans. And then Last Jedi fans will hate this because it retcons a lot, and it like basically just smooths over a lot of stuff that happened in Last Jedi, which I thought was funny. I haven't been a fan of a single one of the sequel trilogy movies, and this one was the worst out of all of them. It's really bad. Rey is still this unstoppable space god that accomplishes anything she wants to. Doesn't even have to try, do anything. But she's sad about things. You can tell by the tears that are always in her eyes every time she talks. Like every single scene where Rey's talking, she has tears in her eyes, and it's like, why? Why are you always so sad? It's weird. Kylo's pointless. Like there's at the end of this movie, I'm like, why was he even a part of this trilogy? What was his point? There was no point to him. Finn's the same way, where he gets sidelined bad in this movie. So Finn, to me, had the most interesting story on paper out of every character in the new trilogy. On paper, though. His execution was awful. But I thought an ex-stormtrooper joining the Resistance would be cool, but it wasn't because Disney butchered that idea. But in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, he was treated like Jar Jar. Basically, to where he's like, oh, I'm just this big dumb klutz. Oh, whoops, you got a cute boyfriend, and you got and then in The Last Jedi, he's like more of a goofball, and he's like, oh, I got like tased in the balls by Rose. Oh no, and this one, he's not a goofball. He's just not. He doesn't do anything. He's like there to yell Rey. That's it. He doesn't do anything, so he doesn't have the opportunity to be a goofball because he's just not in it much, and when he is, he doesn't do anything at all. So he's pointless. Palpatine's in it. They shouldn't have brought him back. Ian McDiarmid does a great job though, but Palpatine doesn't make any sense why he's in it other than, oh no, I wanted to use Palpatine, but I created Snoke because I couldn't use Palpatine. Rian Johnson killed him. Now I guess I'll get the guy that I copied Palpatine off of. Or that I copied off of. I'll get Palpatine. So that's basically what it was. Just J.J. Abrams made a Palpatine clone in Snoke because he wanted to use Palpatine but couldn't. And then J.J. Abrams killed Snoke. And so he's like, guess I'll get the real thing then. It's like, dude, you realize it'd be easier to bring back Snoke than it would be to bring back Palpatine? Like, it would make more sense in universe. But no, he brings back Palpatine. It's never really explained, by the way, about how he actually did come back. That's not a spoiler. That's just letting you know it's not in the movie. Like, it's just not explained. It's just like, oh yeah, he survived. There's a lot of that. Also, there's a lot of things that aren't explained. It's stupid. But yeah, I'd say if you like The Force Awakens, go see this movie. You'll probably have a good time. Otherwise, I would not recommend seeing the movie unless you really wanted to and you're really looking forward to it. Don't let anyone's opinion on the internet sway you from seeing the movie if you're really interested in it. Always, I'm very much a big proponent of going and forming your own opinion on things and not letting people on the internet sway you necessarily. So if you're really interested in going to see it, definitely go give it a shot. But if you weren't too interested in it, if you were kind of 50-50 or iffy on it, I'd say don't go. It's not worth it. You'll just have a bad time. It's not a good movie. It's bad. But without further ado, let's get into spoilers. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to be spoiling it for you. So let's talk about Rey. Rey, again, unstoppable space god, does whatever she wants. So there's a point in this movie where this transport that they think Chewie is on is about to fly into space. It flies up a little bit, and Rey watches it. In my head, I thought, why doesn't Rey just grab it out of the sky? And then she does it. She grabs it out of the sky. I was just being sarcastic in my own head. Like, yeah, she's been, like, this all-powerful being throughout all these movies that can do anything. Why doesn't she just grab a ship out of the sky, Starkiller style? She could do that, and then she does it. I was like, oh, so now I'm in for a ride now, because I didn't think they'd actually do it. And then she kills everyone in there by shocking it with lightning, because Force lightning is now genetic. But yeah, Force lightning is genetic for whatever reason. And I don't really get why Force lightning is genetic. It'd be like if Luke accidentally choked someone. You know, if Luke was just like doing his own thing and then was like, oh no, I just choked that guy because that's my dad's go-to move, because Force choking is genetic. No, he trained for years and then used on those Gamorrean guards on purpose. And then she accidentally Force lightning someone, like a lot of someone's in a ship when she doesn't even mean to and didn't know she could do that because it's part of her genetics. That doesn't make any damn sense. How is Force lightning part of your genetics? What? The movie, like the beginning of the movie, we see, like, first time we see Rey, she is floating, and then she like flies. She's floating with a bunch of rocks around her, like Avatar style, which she is the Avatar, turns out. And then she like does this flip and like flies down. So Leia taught her to fly. Great, happy about that one. By the way, Leia's death, how did she die? Was it like her mother? She lost the will to live? She literally just decides to die. Like, I thought Luke and Han's deaths were bad. But Leia just like, Ben, I'm dead. And then that's it. Like, I thought they would have given her a different, like, my prediction for the longest time for this movie was, oh, they're not going to kill her because it'd be insensitive because Carrie Fisher's dead. They're just going to send her off to the other side of the galaxy and we'll never see her again. No, they just kill her in the worst way possible. Well, she survived all that stuff in the other movies just to die of nothing? Why? I don't get it. But yeah, Rey can do anything. The Force can do anything. It's very much continues on the tradition that The Force Awakens started, which is any plot hole you have, the Force can fill it. The Force can do anything. It also has some of Last Jedi isms in the fact that it does some things and then doesn't commit to them. Like Last Jedi did that with a lot of things, for instance, Leia's death, where it's like, oh man, this is kind of actually ballsy, the fact that they're killing Leia like this. I really like this scene to where Kylo hesitated killing the stormtroopers did. Now he has to witness the aftermath of what basically he created here. It's like, oh man, that's heavy hitting. And Leia freaking Supermans it back and is fine. It's like, okay, you ruined a good moment. Why even have that moment in the first place anyways? Why even have her get catapulted into space if she's just going to survive? Why even give us that fake out? It makes no sense. This movie does that a couple times, except not with anything interesting. Unlike the Last Jedi. Last Jedi would propose an interesting idea and then immediately go back to where we started and be like, we don't actually want to do anything interesting. This proposes a dumb idea and then is like, no, let's not do it. It's like, why even propose that dumb idea in the first place? Like, in the beginning, Rey has Luke's lightsaber. By the way, it's never explained how that lightsaber got fixed. We literally could have just had one scene of her like welding it together and be like, it worked now. Like, would have been fine, but we don't. It's just, it works. Because J.J. Abrams wanted to ignore everything from The Last Jedi he could, so he ignored the fact that thing was split in two at the end of that movie. So it's back. Rey has it, and she's like, I don't deserve your brother's lightsaber, and gives it to Leia. 5 minutes later, not even kidding, 5 minutes later, Rey's like, I'm going on a trip in space. And Leia's like, oh, here, take Luke's lightsaber. She's like, oh, cool, thanks. It's like, you just were talking about how you didn't deserve it, so you gave it up to Leia. Why are you taking it back 5 minutes later? Why even have this exchange at all? She could have just had the lightsaber and gone on the ship and taken off. Like, we didn't need to see this whole, I don't deserve the lightsaber, I got the lightsaber back in 5 minutes. Why? Same thing's done with C-3PO's memory. They get the Sith dagger and need to translate it, but 3PO can't translate because he's forbidden from translating Sith lingo, which is stupid. Also, Sith is a language. Maybe that's been a thing in the past. I don't know if that was canon or not, but it just seems kind of weird. Like, you speak Sith? Do you speak Jedi? Like, I thought these were, like, not languages, but just factions, I guess, or whatever. I don't know how to say it, but not languages, but apparently they are. So whatever. That's more of a nitpick, but 3PO can't read it because his programming prohibits him from doing it. So the only way to get him to read it is to wipe his memory. Doesn't make any sense, but that's how it goes. So they wipe 3PO's memory, and it's this big thing. And he's like, oh, that's why in the trailer he's like, then I'm getting one last look at my friends, because after that he won't remember them at all. It's completely new. And then R2 just restores his memory. So what was the point of wiping 3PO's memory if you're just gonna give it back to him? What? That's like stabbing a character and then healing it immediately out. Oh wait, they do that. The Force can do anything. They first revealed this in The Mandalorian when Baby Yoda heals a dude's arm that got like torn up, which I thought it was stupid. The Mandalorian when they did it, I'm like, I don't really like that, like how it just completely heals a wound, because we never saw that before. And in this, and it does not really a natural progression that makes sense either. But in this, Kylo, well, first there's that snake lizard thing underground, and she heals it by saying, I gave it some of my Force energy, some of my life. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. And then Kylo gets killed by her because, she beat him again. And she brings him back to life. She, heals him. He's on the verge of dying. He technically doesn't die, but it was a fatal shot. He's dead. She brings him back to life by healing that wound. Okay, so the Force can heal you now. And then she dies at the end from exerting too much Force. And so Kylo brings her back to life. What happened? Also, he's not Kylo at that point. He's a good guy. What happened to the ability to, bring people back to be this extremely hard thing to master, and also being this thing that was unnatural and only the Sith could do? Rey is pure golden god good. She don't do nothing bad. So how does she do it? And then how does Kylo know how to do it as well? If Palpatine survived falling down that shaft in the Death Star and the explosion, Han Solo's body's somewhere out there. Freaking grab it and heal him back. It's like, the Force can heal you now. Also, the Force is teleportation. Like, she takes the lightsaber, puts it behind her head, and she's like, what's going on? And Kylo has the lightsaber. Teleport lightsaber. Like, if you can teleport a lightsaber, why not teleport it into Palpatine's face? That's what I'd do. I'd be like, I got this lightsaber, not doing anything with it, and it's in your face. Like, that's what I'd do. Like, that would be the best move ever. Imagine that. Like, you got a lightsaber, and you're like, what am I gonna do with it? I'm just putting it behind my head for no reason. What? Where'd it go? What? It's in your face. What? Want to put that there? Like, why wouldn't you do that? Makes sense to me, but she didn't do that. You can teleport lightsabers. Why not teleport it to his face? So stupid. Also, Force Skype is now physical. So The Last Jedi introduced Force Skype, which I wasn't mad at. I actually like Force Skype. I was like, okay, makes sense, because it's kind of a natural progression of things. You could already sense people and kind of talk to people through the Force. So for them to be able to full on Force Skype, I was like, makes sense to me. But now they can grab stuff off people. They can freaking have fights. Also, when Kylo and Rey are Force Skyping and Kylo's on the ground, she's up in his ship, it doesn't make sense why he doesn't know where she is, because she's talking to him holding the Sith dagger that was in his ship. So if she has that means she went and got it from his ship. So that means she's there, because Kylo left when it was still in his ship. That was 5 minutes ago. So Kylo should see the Sith dagger and be like, oh, she's in my ship. But the whole time he's like, where are you? Where are you? And then she knocks over his Darth Vader memorabilia, and he's like, oh, you're in my ship. It's like she was holding the dagger, you dumbass. So Force can do anything. Also, Palpatine creates gigantic Force lightning like the size of Godzilla. And then when he's shooting it at Rey, he does little Force lightning, like, pooh, like little baby Force lightning. It's like, why not just do the giant lightning you just did? The Force makes no sense and literally can just do anything you ever want it to. It's just so stupid. Like, there were some a lot of the stuff that the sequel trilogy has done with the Force I don't like, but there are a few things I like. One, I did like Force Skype, and two, I thought I liked it when Kylo was able to stop that blaster bolt in The Force Awakens. I was like, that's cool, because you could already stop things with the Force and stuff. It kind of makes sense that you could stop a blaster bolt. Like, that was kind of cool. I was fine with that. It made sense. It wasn't super overpowering. It didn't ruin anything. I was like, okay, I like that. That kind of the natural progression of things. But other stuff like this Force heal, just why not just heal everything? How did Qui-Gon not get brought back? How did Qui-Gon die? There were so many people in the Jedi Order. Did they not know how to just freaking touch him and heal him? What the heck? Luke, dude. grab your hand and like use the force to grab your hand, bring it back. Beep. Obi-Wan didn't tell you about that, bro. Also, force ghosts can do anything. Like before, force ghosts were kind of just like could talk to you, and that was it. They could give you good advice or bad advice. Talk about how they totally didn't lie to you. It's just a different point of view. But now they can cause lightning. They can catch lightsabers. They can lift up X-wings. Like, dang, dude, becoming a force ghost, you can do anything now. Like, why didn't Luke just kill Palpatine himself? He can do anything as a force ghost. Why didn't Yoda freaking lightning him or something? If they can do literally anything. The scene where Han came back, actually, like, I thought it was stupid that Han came back, one, because he's like, you're just a memory. Okay, so memory is something that you've already experienced. This is something totally new. So that's not a memory. So was Han in the Force? I have no clue what that is, because he says he's just a memory, but it's like a memory. You don't remember something that hasn't happened. Like that, where it's like he's specifically talking about the situation he's in now. But that moment, I was like, man, if this would have happened at The Force Awakens, would have been a great moment. But in this movie, it makes no damn sense. Like that moment between them, when Ben says "Dad," I was like, I like that, but it didn't really make sense in this movie. It should have been at the end of The Force Awakens, and it would have been a good moment. But no, we don't get it here. Lando, for the 2 seconds he was in it, was good. Billy D. Williams still got it, like, which I was happy about, because so Carrie Fisher, not bad, but you could tell that she's lost a step since like the original trilogy, to where like Han, so Billy D. Williams, Harrison Ford, and like Mark Hamill are all still like there at that top level, to where Carrie Fisher, again, still not bad, but like you can tell in these new movies that she's lost a step in her acting. I mean, like her acting's not quite as good. Also, I hate the way they write her character. Like they've taken out any little type of spunk at all from Leia, and she's just very bland and like direct and like serious about everything. Like they took about anything interesting about her. She's just General Leia that is just very serious about everything, and is just like, I don't want her making like quippy Marvel jokes or something, but like add some character to her. Why do you gotta ruin Leia? But that's how she is. It's just because, in order to be a badass female, you can't have any character to you. You just have to be stale and boring. That's what you have to be. Like Rey. It's so stupid. Man. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I wanted to get off my chest with this movie? Oh yeah, Kylo was pointless. Why was he even in this trilogy? They literally could have had that scene where he brings back Rey. They could have had that not exist and Rey just survive. If Rey freaking takes her double lightsabers, because 2 lightsabers better than 1, and blocks back the lightning back into Palpatine, kills him, and then survives, everyone would be like, that's Rey, makes sense. No one would be like, she should have died from that. She overexerted herself. So you didn't need to have that happen. So have Kylo come back doesn't make any sense. Like, Kylo did nothing but bring her back, and he didn't even need to do that. It wasn't like at the end of the Return of the Jedi, Vader gets redeemed and saves his son from the Emperor. Like, he is the chosen one, and Vader in the end does what he was supposed to do. And he saved him. And this, Kylo, wasn't needed at all. Rey does everything herself and defeats Palpatine. So, even if Rey died right there, doesn't matter. She accomplished everything. Everything's fine. We already have, the New Republic is back. Everything's fine. It's just now she survives, and you didn't even need to have him come back to save her. She probably would have saved herself 5 seconds later. She'd probably been like, Force energy, come to me! And she's back. Also, why didn't Palpatine drain them of their Force energy when he's, healing himself? He's like, I will heal myself back to the healthy age of a 90-year-old man! And he does it. It's like, Palpatine, why not just suck all of it and go back to, freaking stud frat Palpatine or something? Why do you just heal yourself back to just a 90-year-old man? It doesn't make sense. He just sucks a little bit of it. And then he throws Kylo off a cliff or whatever. Because, throwing people into dark chasms of nothingness always works in Star Wars. No one ever comes back. Darth Maul definitely didn't come back. The Emperor definitely didn't come back. And the whole Avatar thing. All the Jedi live in Rey. All the Sith live in Palpatine. What the hell? Why? That doesn't make any sense. How? Why did no one help Luke with that? Why were all the Jedi We're not gonna live in you, Luke. We're waiting for the evil Sith Lord's granddaughter to live in, okay? What? Why is she the Avatar? Why is the Avatar even a thing in the Star Wars universe? Why do the Sith live in Palpatine? Does that mean, because he spoke with Vader's voice when he was talking to Kylo, he was like, I have been everyone you ever known, and then he starts talking in Vader's voice like we hear James Earl Jones. Does that mean like Vader lives in Palpatine and Anakin lives in Rey? I think that's what that means. You have everyone telling her like, Rey, we're here for you, you golden god, you are the perfect one. You are the perfect one to restore everything. Everything before this doesn't matter. It's all about you. And then she gets her gold lightsaber at the end to prove she's the golden god. That was great. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Also, the one thing that's worked on Rey is like lifting her up, like Snoke did it, Palpatine did it. But instead of lifting her up and like just bashing her around or like bringing him, just like killing her, he force lightnings her, which he learned from Mace does not work. But she's blocking, and he's like, I'll just keep going. This worked last time. It's like, no, it didn't. It worked against Luke when he threw his lightsaber. When Luke threw his lightsaber, it worked. But when they have their lightsaber, it do not work. You learn that from Mace. Oh, it's just so bad, and nothing makes sense, and the freaking fan service. Also, Luke's wig in this movie was awful. Whoever was in charge of Luke's wig should get fired. The hold-on maneuver part was funny. It makes no sense, though. So there's a part where they're like, we need to take down these Star Destroyers. And the one dude's like, the one Hobbit guy is like, why don't we just do the hold-on maneuver? And then, I think it was Finn or Poe, one of them says, that maneuver's 1 in a million, except it's not. You literally just aim ship towards thing, hit hyperspace, works every time. Like, there's no 1 in a million thing about that. Also, since when does a 1 in a million thing work on, like, the first try? I just generally know how it goes. Generally, there's a lot of failure and then it works. Like, how is that 1 in a million? If you're aiming a little ship at a giant ship, it seems pretty easy to run into it. Like, how's that 1 in a million? That was just their way of being like, we have to address it because that was such a part that broke the Star Wars universe. Because freaking, could you imagine, like, World War II Japanese? They would have destroyed in the Star Wars universe. There's all these suicide bombers, like, boom, kamikaze dudes. Playing 1 in a million doesn't make sense, but I don't think I have anything else to talk about right now. Movie very bad. Worst Star Wars movie. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's just bad, but I don't know. I'll probably make more videos on it when I'm a bit more coherent, because today was just getting my general thoughts out there after I just saw the movie. Maybe I'll make a more cohesive video with more editing or something, but this was just a, hey guys, here's my thoughts on it initially after just seeing it. But yeah, that's it. I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why did you like it? Why did you not like it? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.